All right, I think we're live. I don't think anyone's in here yet, so I'll give a couple minutes here for people to get in the room. SEC action. Again, no major upsets. Some great games, though, on Saturday, but just published the latest edition of the SEC Power Rankings. And as always, got to explain this if you're new to this. Yes, Texas and Oklahoma are included this year, but the only method I use for this, if Team A meets Team B on a neutral field, who am I taking to win tomorrow? That's the only metric I use. Ooh, go Gators. Yeah, big win for the Gators. Angry Tennessee fans in the mentions already. All right, hey, let's get to the power rankings first, though. Then we'll get to some instant reactions from the weekend. Vanderbilt, of course, 16. You showed life against Georgia. Scored right off the bat. First time in 5 years you'd scored against Georgia. Nice little comeback. But is that more about Vanderbilt, more about Brock Bowers and all that? So I don't know. Vanderbilt, you're 16 till further notice. 15, Mississippi State, you were off. No change there. South Carolina, God, just choked that game away. Up 10 with 5 minutes to play. Atrocious defense. And I don't think enough people, Gamecocks are not going to want to hear this because they think I hate Spencer, but which I don't. But he really just chalked that one up at the end. I don't know what the hell. South Carolina had 2 possessions to ice that game. Their offense. I realize the defense, for good reasons, getting all the blame, or the majority of the blame, but it shouldn't be all on them. But South Carolina's offense had chances late in that game to close it out. They couldn't get it done. 14th. I'm not impressed. If Spencer Rattler's not elite, South Carolina, I don't think they have a shot in any game. I mean, that's what it is. Auburn 13. Got smoked by LSU at LSU. No shame in that. I think LSU's pretty good. Arkansas 12. Showed a hell of a fight. If you had one more possession, you may have won that game. At Alabama. That was a hell of a performance. That and LSU, probably your 2 best performances of the season, both losses. So, but you're coming up on a critical stretch here. You could get some serious momentum if you're an Arkansas fan. Florida, number 11. Got to be impressed. They could have quit. They got their sleep. Their defense looked atrocious till the very end. Like I said, they got 2 stops. 4th and long. Graham Mertz was money. Ricky Pershaw. Pershaw is probably going to be SEC Offensive Player of the Week. He was on fire. He was unguardable for the Florida Gators. So Florida's number 11 for me. Kentucky 10. The wheels are falling off already. 2 losses in a row. Mark Stoops, can't wait to hear what he's got to say about buying players, NIL. Maybe that'll help. I heard some interesting things about Mark Stoops. I'll probably share that for another day. Number 9, Texas A&M. Not overly impressive. And I got Tennessee 8. I mean, flip a coin. Tennessee won because they were at home. Neither one was really impressive. The defenses were good. Tennessee running game was good. But I don't understand. These Tennessee fans are all about Tennessee. I don't know what they're seeing that I'm not seeing. Tennessee is Ole Miss number 7. I moved you up. You didn't even play, but that's because other teams kind of coming apart here. So Ole Miss, you're in the right side of the top 8 here in the power rankings. Missouri number 6. Red hot Mizzou. I'm glad I locked them up and Shane locked up Kentucky. That was the kiss of death I needed. I knew I was good after that. Slow start, you dominated after that. Alabama, number 5, again. I feel dirty putting Alabama this high because I'm the only one saying Alabama's not elite. I don't know what anybody is seeing that makes them think Alabama's elite. Should have lost to Arkansas at home. Arkansas's lost 5 in a row. They should have beat you on Saturday. LSU, number 4. Very impressive, but it is Auburn. Auburn's not that good, but you totally dominated them. Oklahoma and Texas were off. No change. 2 for Oklahoma, 3 for Texas. And Georgia, I keep you at number 1. Early game, Vanderbilt. I don't know. You could convince me Oklahoma's number 1, but I'm keeping Georgia there until further notice. All of a sudden, that Kentucky win doesn't look as impressive either. So there's the power rankings. Let's get into these comments. People are fired up. UK will still beat UT. I don't know where Sasquatch has been, but I'd bet for his lifetime, that's a bet that he would have lost probably about 90% of the time. I don't see it. We love Cousin Shane. Free beers and steak. Well, he's going to need free beers whenever he does his drinking because he's got, 17 beers he's supposed to drink? Nick asks, is this Jimbo's last year? Should have been. Last year should have been his last year. So I don't know what the hell they're doing there in College Station, but they do not have a quality coach. Tim says Tennessee defense looks good. Looked good all year, except for a couple missed tackles against Florida. But yeah, Tennessee's defense, I think, is legit. Clearly, that running game looks legit. Sasquatchy says Mizzou will also beat Tennessee. I mean, yeah, Tennessee's just losing everybody. Sasquatch, good call. Here's old Bill. Bill's happy about beating Arkansas by 3 points, 19-point favorite. Good job, Bill. Guys on top. You're going to win it all. Definitely. Tennessee runs for a zillion yards against a team, and apparently that means they're bad. I guess Danny doesn't watch the games. Is there any Tennessee fans here that can let Danny know that, that was ugly? I mean, punt return for a touchdown is what it took to win at home against an unranked team. No, I mean, if that impresses you, I guess, were you in a coma last year? I mean, what the hell are you talking about? Tennessee, I have not spoken to one Tennessee fan that was excited about what happened today. Not one. They won the game. That's about all you can say. Yeah, Milton 50% complete. That's great. That's great, Dave. I mean, 50%. That's going to beat a lot of FCS teams, like UTSA and all shit like that. But Alabama, Kentucky, Missouri, Georgia, you're not going to beat any of them like that. Alabama too high. I agree. I just don't know where else to put them. What else? Well, let's look at next week's games real quick. Maybe we get some good games here. I mean, hell, I thought these games were good. Still waiting for that big upset. Haven't had an emergency podcast. Haven't had the need to. Here's the slate. Oh, God, it's kind of rough next week. Mississippi State at Arkansas. That's the noon game. Tennessee at Alabama. CBS, 3:30, 2:30 Central. South Carolina at Missouri. God. Beamer needs that one bad. And they hate drinking them, so maybe that could be a good game. Ole Miss at Auburn. The Lane Kiffin Bowl. And then Army LSU. Next week's a little bit of a dud. I think, I haven't confirmed yet, but I think I'm going to be down in Tuscaloosa for Feinbaum Show. There's talks of that. We're not confirmed just yet. Georgia Kid says, ugly win in Nashville, but 7-0 is 7-0. I'll have to double check. I don't know if 7-0 is actually 7-0. Jimbo is constant state of panic on the sideline. Hey, I said it this week. I mean, just keep Jimbo away from the sidelines. Keep him at home. A&M will never lose again. Danny says Milton's 50% completions was because a guy dropped one pass. Well, that would be accurate if he threw 2 passes, but let's see how many he threw. He threw 22, Danny, not 2. So you're off on that one. Roger, Tennessee running core best in the SEC, maybe best. Yeah, and credit. That is one thing. I mean, Heupel, they ran it more than they passed it last year. That was a misconception that they threw it all over the yard. But he's leaned into what they can do, and they're excelling at it. Can they keep it up? I don't know. It remains to be seen. But if they do, this is how they're going to have to win. Running the ball, playing tough defense. And it's not like they're playing any world beaters here. And I'm including, Georgia maybe, but on the road. Alabama, not a world beater. Kentucky, clearly. Mizzou, that may be your toughest road game left. Tanner, You were saying how can people see what's yet you got suck ass what? LSU sucks ass now? Who'd they lose to? Florida State and Ole Miss. I don't know about that. So is anybody in here taking Tennessee over LSU on a neutral field? I find that hard to believe. Where do we have A&M? 9. I think I got A&M 9. Boo. Auburn fan, broken inside. Well, that was a tough game. That's nothing to get too. Shay says he's Googling the smallest beer cans at the moment. Anybody that missed it on Friday's show, Cousin Shane locked up Kentucky, and they were favored. Not just, they weren't underdogs or anything, but he locked up Kentucky and the points. He says if Missouri wins, however many points Missouri won the game by, he would drink a beer during a live show. And Mizzou won by 17 points. So we may have to go 5 hours on that live show. I don't know how he's going to do that. Oklahoma sucks, says CJ. This is a classic. Everybody sucks. I mean, they're undefeated. They beat everybody they played, and they've smoked most of them. I don't understand how. Maybe people don't know what sucks means. I don't know. I don't get that. This is a good one. Paul Feinbaum won't think you're so wrong about Bama now. That's true. Proving everybody wrong on Alabama week in, week out. Tennessee will beat Bama by 2, says Tim. That's not my comment. That's Tim's, even though I already said it. Joe Garantano. Oh, my God, no. Oh, Roger David with that comment. That was the comment of the night so far. Yeah, Tobin, thank you. As a Tennessee fan, Milton is tough to watch. It's just, I don't know if he's injured. He doesn't seem injured because they're playing him and he's running and he's just off. He's streaky. And I'm not counting this, but if he steps up, if he's more consistent, if, like Danny says, if they catch wide open touchdowns, Tennessee can beat anybody with that defense and their running game. But what are we, 6 games in now? 7 games in? I think 6 for Tennessee because of the bye. And you can't go halfway through and just say, well, this guy that's not done it for 6 games, if he can do it against tougher competition, if he's receivers who haven't done it, if they just start doing it on the road, if all that comes together, we'll beat everybody. I mean, I think it'll happen probably in 1 or maybe 2 games, but it's not going to happen consistently. And that would be my concern as a Tennessee fan. Yeah, Joe Milton had 100 yards passing. Oof. And keep in mind, Jalen Milroe on the road, what did he have? 321 against his defense just a week ago. Dion and Mike Elko at A&M replacements for Jimbo. Absolute. Yeah. I mean, anybody's better than Jimbo at this point in time. Joe Milton's lack of progression is a problem. I think he's reading it well. One major critique I have about Joe Milton, his lack of awareness has never seemed to improve. And remember, this is a guy with the Ole Miss game on the line, and he's taking progressions. I'm not bashing him for what he did a couple years ago, but he ran out of bounds with the game on the line. And case in point, just today, A&M jumps offsides. You got a free play. And what does he do? He runs out of bounds on like a 4-yard gain. When you get someone to jump off sides, you just chuck it. You can throw it 90 yards, chuck it down the field. I mean, every quarterback should know that. And then it's not one play like that. It's many. The awareness is not there. It's just not. And I don't think that's ever going to come. Unranked team, but yet you had A&M winning. I don't think I ever predicted that. I had LSU winning the West. Another great point by Chase. Mizzou wins without Luther Burden. Anybody that missed it, Luther got banged up. But Mizzou's not just Luther Burden. They got a number of weapons, and they started slow. What was it? I think it was 10-0. They were down on the road, hostile environment. Ooh, can someone please tell me how Kentucky can get the offense on the right track? Quarterback, man, he's rough. Turnovers. Ray Davis is firing. The receivers keep dropping passes. I can't recall any time in my life where you've had reliable receivers, and then a year later, all those guys come back and they can't catch the damn ball. I don't understand. Bill says, do you like making yourself look like a horse's ass? Yeah, sure, I guess so. You're still here, Bill. You're here every week for some reason. You must enjoy it too. Liquid Flame Gators are off. Yep, they got 2 weeks. And hell, I think it's gonna sound crazy, but if Brock, let's hope. You know, again, we never root for injuries. Brock Bowers, we'll have to see how badly he's injured. If he can't go against Florida, I think the Gators can make out a game. They could even win it. Graham Mertz, I mean, he's playing out of his mind. Ricky Pershaw, unguardable. Of course, Georgia could probably guard him a little bit, but I'm telling you, I think that could be a game. Mizzou over Georgia will be your next emergency podcast, says Casey. I hope so. I'm waiting for this big upset. We've not really had it. Alabama lost to Texas, but technically that was an upset, but that wasn't that big of one. Bill says, stay your ass out of Tuscaloosa. He must be the mayor down there or something. Well, it is a free country still, Bill, I do believe. Mizzou Super Bowl. That's Carl. Poor Shade. We already got thoughts and prayers for Shade out there. What else we got? I think I'm behind on the comments here. Actually, the disappointing play calling from Heupel because he's hamstrung by Milton. That's true. Yeah, you see that. It doesn't seem like Tennessee is confident in Milton. And a lot of these third and longs, when they're hovering in field goal range, they're running the ball. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9. William Payne asked, Nico time of... Oh, we're not supposed to say that name on this show. Danny gets mad. But no, I don't think so, because you're going to Alabama, at Alabama. You got at Kentucky, at Mizzou, and you got Georgia. I mean, you're going to throw out a guy that's not played one single snap of significance against that stretch. If you were going to do it, you should have done it weeks ago against maybe South Carolina. I think it's too late. I think it's too late to just throw Nico out there. As bad as the quarterback performance has been for Tennessee, I don't think you can throw him out there. Ethan, are you on Feinbaum in Tuscaloosa? I think so. We were talking about it. I don't 100% sure, not 100% sure at this point in time, but I think so. I think we're trying to get. I don't want to ruin a surprise or anything, but we're trying to get a third person to debate me live on the show. So we'll see if we can get that to happen. Reese says, as a Georgia fan, I hope Georgia drops to Michigan for that number 1 spot. $10. Hogs undefeated the rest of the season. I'm telling you, that's not crazy, Ty. Let's look up their schedule real quick. And I don't have it updated from today, but Mississippi State at home. That should be a win. At Florida, all of a sudden, that's tough, but Florida will be coming off the Georgia game. So it's a toss-up. Auburn at home, FIU at home, Mizzou at home, undefeated. I agree. Unless a Mizzou fan wants to throw us more than $10, then I might change my mind. Dave still fired up about A&M beating Bama by 2 touchdowns. Now, he had even, just wait till he finds out what happens against Arkansas. A couple of weeks behind there. Uh-oh. This feels like a threat from Bill. He's going to meet me in Tuscaloosa. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to bring Shane, my security force, there. Man. I'm just wondering, where are these upsets? I mean, I think the most upset is Shane right now. What's happening in Kentucky now? I mean, Kentucky, God, they're in a tough spot, aren't they? Let's look at their schedule. So you just lost 2 in a row. Tennessee, you got 2 weeks to prepare, but you can never beat Tennessee. At Mississippi State, Alabama, at South. Is Kentucky going to win another game? I mean, I'm trying not to overreact here. They should beat Mississippi State. I don't care where that game's played. They should win that. But I don't know. At South Carolina, that's very winnable. I think Louisville just lost for the first time. I'm not guaranteeing they lose to Louisville, but all these games are losable. And if Stoops loses out, I could see him getting fired. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? But after the NL comments, I don't know how long he gets and maybe not even fired. Maybe I shouldn't have said that went that far. I've heard some things, though. Would not be surprised if Mark Stoops is coaching elsewhere next season if things don't change in Lexington. I'll just say that. $20. Before Mizzou has a chance. Yeah, to hell with Mizzou. Arkansas's winning out. You're getting that big win over Mizzou. But we do got a Cooper gave us 10. It says Mizzou owns Arkansas. That's true too, but not moving forward. According to me and Ty, Arkansas owns it moving forward. Shane, thank you all for beer money. He's going to need it. I cannot wait to see who Cousin Shane locks up next weekend. Again, not a terrific slate. Run it down real quick. Mississippi State at Arkansas. I don't see him locking down either one of those. This is just me guessing. Army LSU, he better not lock up that game. It better be an SEC game because it's more interesting that way. Ole Miss at Auburn, possibility of a lock. South Carolina at Mizzou. Oh, my God, he may give Mizzou the kiss of death. Tennessee at Alabama. Will he use his evil powers for good once again? Because Alabama's probably going to be, if I had to guess, 9-point favorite, 10-point favorite. Alabama lock sounds pretty good, doesn't it, Shane? Uh-oh. Oh, my God, we just got dollars for Dubs, Ty, with the $50. Yeah. Appreciate you, Ty. Damn, that's impressive. I don't think Arkansas is going to lose another game, maybe ever. I'll tell an interesting story I heard for Ty. I don't know if he's heard that. I don't know if anybody's heard this because I hadn't heard it. But something I heard interesting, especially Arkansas fans, I think will appreciate this about Sam Pittman, our guy Sam Pittman. This is for Ty for $50. I appreciate you. I'll give you a little tip I picked up. But remember when Sam Pittman got hired, one of the things was he didn't even ask Hunter Yurachek what they'd pay. And this was after the Chad Morris fiasco and the crazy buyout that they had to pay. So Arkansas was not in a place where they wanted to spend, I shouldn't say they didn't want to spend money. They didn't want to have another buyout and all this bullshit that they had to do with the last guy. So when Sam Pittman said, "Hey, I don't even care how much you pay, I'll take a job." And Hunter Yurachek, I think, has publicly said that's when I knew this is the guy for the job. He wants to be here. And then he wins 9 games. And for those that don't know, his agent, I think, was just like some friend. It was this woman. I don't know what her name was, but I think she was like a local Fayetteville attorney or something. I don't know if it's Fayetteville, but I know she's a family friend. When they started winning, he fired her and hired super agent Jimmy Sexton. And, of course, he got a big raise. And I believe Jimmy Sexton was the guy that got Chad Morris all the money in the buyout, and that's what that pissed off Hunter Yurachek back then. He didn't want to work with Jimmy Sexton the next time to hire the next coach. So there's bad blood there. But a lot of people read, and I did myself. I read into that like, what the hell, Sam? You're saying you don't care about the money. This isn't about the money for you. And then you win all these games, and now you land in this massive extension. It's kind of talking out both sides of your mouth, right? At least that's what I thought. But the story I was told was that Jimmy Sexton called up Sam Pittman and said, if you ever want to hire one of my coaches, he represents everybody. I mean, I think 11 or 12 of the head coaches in the SEC are Jimmy Sexton clients, and loads of assistants, coordinators, all that. They all. Jimmy Sexton's their agent, and Jimmy Sexton called Sam Pittman apparently and said, if you ever want to hire one of my clients on your coaching staff, then you have to fire your agent and hire me. And he did. And he got a big pay bump out of it. So I thought that was interesting. But that just goes to show that Jimmy Sexton kind of, he runs it. He runs college football, basically. He runs the SEC. And it's weird, but it's the truth. What else we got here? Story time. What's Cousin Shay's? 1 and freaking 11. we have to put Cousin Shane's bid at his lock up for bid at some point in time. I mean, this is ridiculous. 1 and 11. None of you in the comments could go 1 for 11 if you tried. Shane, and the funny thing is, all 12 times Shane thought he was winning. He's that bad at gambling, which is why he's doing these beer bets. And he's walking a half marathon, and he's getting painted like a clown. I mean, this is incredible. Dave says Bama's winning the SEC. Ooh, boy. I don't know about that. Anyone else think Bama? I mean, are people watching Bama that think they're winning the SEC? Because I watch every game, and they look pretty average. Max says Cousin Shane needs a better pair of glasses. The glasses were not the problem, I don't think. I mean, I think he looks sharp as hell with those glasses. He looks smart. Picks are not smart. Mike, a.k.a. Donkey Face, a.k.a. Bama Hater. And his name is Ain't No Fun. He does not seem like a fun guy. That is an accurate name. Will says the lock curse only works if Cousin Shane thinks he's right. I think that's true. I don't think we could put it up for bids. I don't think we can. The King Dynasty. I'm telling you, they're going. God, they keep playing like this. Bama defense is legit. Yeah, they fell asleep though for a little bit there against Arkansas, but they made the stop they had to win that game, no doubt. The defense is good. You can't, in today's modern football, you can't just win with the defense, though. Not at a high level. Bama ain't winning shit. Milroe looks better than Joe Milton. I would agree with that, Carl, which is kind of sad. Roger says the same thing. Milroe definitely looks better than Joe Milton. And here's the thing. Jalen Milroe is improving. He's not played that much. Joe Milton, I know he's not played a ton, but he has played over the years, and he's looks the same. I mean, the best he ever looked, I think, was the Orange Bowl. Probably because they had a month to prepare. You know what I mean? So, yep, I think Jalen Milroe is better than Joe Milton. I don't think that's even debatable at this point in time. It's funny, this ain't no fun guy. He's now he's getting mad that I'm reading his comments. If I had ooh, these comments. We're getting crazy here. I think some of y'all been drinking. Here's a good one. Oh, shoot. I had the wrong one. You mentioned Dan Mullen, but once State loses to Arkansas and Auburn, Please give me a realistic candidate for the MS Dogs next year. Oh, that's a good question. Realistic candidate for Mississippi State. It's a tough job. It's just going to get tougher with Texas and Oklahoma coming in, but realistic candidate. I don't know. I have to think about. Could you get Mike Elko? I don't know. I mean, Mississippi State's certainly a better job than Duke, but I think Mike Elko could get a big job, I think, here pretty soon. Decaying dynasty or Vols decaying passing attack? Clayton, yeah, this is a great one by Wahoo McDaniels. Clayton White, he's realistic for you, Mississippi State. Mayhem Matthews, State isn't going to fire their head coach, Zach Arnett, in year one. I've heard from several people now. Not that they're about to fire him or anything, but that it is realistic that they can move on. You have to. If you make a huge mistake in the SEC, hiring your football coach, it's much better to just fix it than stick with them for 2-3 years. It's just going to get worse. You just have to. I mean, Auburn did it. Arkansas did it. Tennessee did it. I mean, when this is a problem and you recognize it, you fire him. You got to move on. If he's totally in over his head. And that may be the case with Zach Arnett. It remains to be seen. Where does Dr. Shane? Dr. Shane's at home. Yeah, JC. If you don't like Michael Bratton, you suck. Could have said that to about every girl I went to high school with. Could have used you back in, JC. All right, anything else out the door? I'm trying to think. Sorry, realistic candidates for. What about Liam Cohen? Again, I think that's kind of where Mississippi State's at. You got to get someone unproven, but is a promising coordinator, someone like that. Because I know Liam Cohen wants to be a head coach, and I realize, South Carolina's, or excuse me, Kentucky's. It's not like they're lighting the world on fire, but I don't think that's Liam Cohen's fault. I think it's the quarterback's fault, and I think it's the receiver's fault. And hell, what's the deal with Mark Stoops and all these? Not Mark Stoops, but his team. All these damn penalties. It's so many. It's uncharacteristic, undisciplined. It's everything unlike what I'm used to seeing from Kentucky. It's really weird. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher, realistic for Mississippi State. I mean, that might be realistic. I hate to say it. Hell no, they don't want Liam Cohen. Okay. I think he'd be better than what you got currently, but I could be wrong. Anything else here? We went over 30 minutes already. Let's see. Nope. See, everybody's going to want Deion Sanders, right? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Mississippi State, but I've seen an Arkansas fans too. He's bigger than those programs now. He truly is. And I'm not like this huge Deion Colorado fan or anything, but he's made them relevant overnight. The next job he takes, if it's an SEC job, it's going to be Alabama. It'll be Florida. It'll be, Georgia. It'll be one of these elite jobs, I think. I think he'll wait for one of those. And I think they'll give it to him, too. If he can attract that type of talent to Colorado, just imagine what he could do at an SEC. I mean, it would be ridiculous, I would think. What makes A&M different from Mississippi State? A&M hasn't won anything, goes 8-4. Well, that's true, but in this new era with NIL and the transfer portal, A&M's a lot more attractive with all the money they have, and the recruiting base is significantly better in the state of Texas. And even though Mississippi's a great state for talent, it's not even comparable to Texas. So Texas A&M, you're right, not as good on the field, but it's a better job because the opportunity to win big is there. The path to getting it done, the resources, the facilities, the fan base, which Mississippi State has some of those things, but A&M just has more of it. Is Kentucky a good enough job? See, no, I don't think so. Again, he's basically. I mean, he's at a lesser school than Kentucky now. So I mean, Kentucky is better than Colorado, but that's not the point. The point is, he's going to take probably a top 10 job. I truly think that he will. Probably not next year because I think his son will come back for another year, and I think that what's his name, Travis Hunter. I think he's got another year too. So I don't think he's going to bail on them. I would think not this offseason, but the next, he'll make his move. And that's just a guess. I don't follow Colorado and Deion that closely, but Florida, Ethan, is Florida winning the East? If they beat Georgia, they might just do it. I guess that Jimbo Fisher tattoo ain't happening. We all knew that wasn't going to. I mean, that lasted, 5 days? Or I think Deion would go to A&M. I think that's the fit there is not there culturally, but he loves Texas. He's from Texas. I think I could see him there. But all right, I'm going to recap these power rankings one more time quickly. Georgia, number 1. Oklahoma, 2. Texas, 3. LSU, 4. Bama, 5. Mizzou, 6. Ole Miss, 7. Tennessee, 8. A&M, 9. Kentucky, 10. Florida, 11. Arkansas, 12. Auburn, 13. South Carolina, 14. Mississippi State, 15. And Vanderbilt, 16. That's your Week 8 SEC power rankings. And that's going to do it for this episode. Tune in Sunday. Don't have a time for you. We've got some things behind the scenes. Got to work around chains availability. So when we have that, when we know that, we'll let it be known. But tune in at some point Sunday. Recap all these games. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one.